What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So before we get into anything today, I want to give you an update on the car. So I took it into heumanautoaspa and got a complete polished ceramic on the whole car. It's a night and day difference trying to clean it. I can go to the car wash and just spray it off now. Don't gotta use soap or nothing, but I'll give you a look. That looks like a brand new car. If you guys are from Michigan and want your car detailed, inside, outside, ceramic on pretty much anything you can think of, I'll leave his info in the description. You guys can look him up and send him a message. Great guy, he does great work, highly recommend. For today's install, we're gonna be installing 2 Radium catch cans. We have 2 drain kits for them, the PCV Baffle kit, and then also the oil vent cap. So this is the first one. This is the PCV catch can right here. I did mess with it a little bit when I first got it, so I kind of put it together roughly how it's gonna look. But I'm gonna go ahead and take it apart and make sure I put some silicone on the O-rings. I'm gonna make sure I get some blue thread locker on these so they don't come loose, but this is kind of what it looks like. Some of these have the green little cap on here, so I believe that's from sub-December 2020, and then anything current from then has this one right here. Same kind of design. I don't know why they changed it up, but I think this looks a little cleaner in my opinion. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. The drain kit goes right here in the bottom. This is the PCV catch can. Pretty much the same design. Instead of 90s right here, these are straight. And this is the one that connects right next to your high pressure fuel pump. Pretty much the same can. Drain kit goes right here. Next up, we have the baffle plate. These do have the O-rings on here too, so make sure you put some silicone spray on them. On the back right here, these are the 2 baffles. Make sure when you put these on here, you put red thread locker in these because you do not want these coming loose. Other than that, we got some stickers, the hose, and then I also went out and bought some hose clamps, just a whole bunch of them, just in case these don't end up working too well for me. I'll have a backup. So these drain kits are pretty straightforward. Got a bunch of tube for it. Got a little valve, some connectors, and then the nipple that goes on the bottom of the catch can. Last but not least, we have the oil cap filter right here. Just gotta get this screwed on there and then she'll be ready to go. Right off the bat, if you guys are gonna be installing these kits, you're gonna have to either get the same intake I have or you're gonna have to take your intake off because the PCV, that's your high pressure fuel pump, it sits right here. So that's gonna be in the way. So that has to come off. Your PCV is gonna sit about right in this general location, and the baffle plate is actually underneath the manifold. So the manifold itself has to come off. I'm not sure how many bolts there are. I know there's 4 right up top. I'm assuming there's probably 2 or 4 on the bottom, but that's gonna have to come off. I'm gonna get all these wires unconnected, so that'll slide out pretty easy for me. And then this might be a 2-day install for me because when I have everything off, I'm gonna try to clean it up just a little bit. You probably see it's all dusty and dirty. So I bought a whole bunch of toothbrushes. I have a whole bunch of cleaners. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this as clean as I possibly can. So we have the manifold off. I taped up that right there. Got tape on there. There's the manifold. I actually broke one of the clips. These things are so temperamental. I've already broken so many of these. So that came off this connector right here. They connect to the throttle body. So I'm gonna see if I can buy one of these at AutoZone or online or something or have them shipped out, because that is a real pain. But I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning this out, and I will see you guys when I'm done. Here's the new baffle plate. I put some silicone on the O-rings for those 2 connectors. And on the back right here, I put some red Loctite on them 6 little Allen key nuts, just to hold them baffles in place, make sure they don't move around or come loose while the car's running. And this is the OEM gasket right around the outside. I used some more silicone just to make it a little more slippery, get a better seal. Get this installed now, and then I will show you guys where this connects to. All the bolts on this right now are pretty loose, and since there's a gasket involved here, I'm gonna do a kind of a star pattern. There's 8 total of these bolts. I'm just gonna kind of do 1 down here, and then try to match it across, and so on and so forth. This is the old PCV. We're gonna need this connector right here off of it. So I got a heat gun. I'm gonna heat this up, make sure you don't melt it. Just put enough heat. It's gonna be a pretty snug fit, trying to get it off. So just apply some heat right here in this area, and then go ahead and try to wiggle it back and forth and get this off. All right, so we have this all installed. We have the top port up here connected with this tube going to the PCV baffle plate. And then the one on the side right here isn't hooked up just yet. That goes to the OEM place on the manifold right there. All right, so onto the CCV catch can. Everything's hooked up. We got the drain kit hooked up. Same thing as the other one. And then up here, the connectors are a little different. We have 2 straight connectors. But other than that, that's gonna mount right here next to that high pressure fuel pump. So the intake has a tube coming out right on the side. This is connected to it right here. It has 1 sensor. And then the other side connects into the crankcase right here. And then all you have to do is just take this out. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna get the heat gun and get this connector and that connector taken off, connect our new hose to it, and then that's gonna get routed into our catch can. So far, I got the intake tube hooked up to the side of the catch can. I got these 2 bolts on the high pressure fuel pump removed, so this can get connected. I haven't connected just yet because I want to have a little bit of wiggle room to get that last hose in. But I think that's gonna be all for me tonight. I'm gonna come back tomorrow morning, get that cleaned up, get everything back installed, get the clip, and I will see you in a second. All right guys, so we have everything hooked up, everything's finished up. We got that last line ran to the catch can along with the crankcase. We have the oil filter on here. This is all finished up. I was just underneath the car. I was routing these little drain cans right here. I will go underneath there and I'll show you guys what they look like. Okay, so underneath the car, right there, those 2 tubes, those are both of the lines for the drains. I have the first one routed up, straight up to the can, and the second one, I have it kind of going around the trans, underneath the motor mount, and then I have it zip tied to the fender liner right there, and then the brake line. Not sure if you guys can see that or not, but that's what it looks like. But other than that, that's the install. I also got everything cleaned up. It's looking pretty good. You can see over here. That's gonna be the install for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like always, I'll leave a link in the description if you guys wanna pick it up for yourself. But before I go, I wanna give you one more little update. So I've had this intake on now for probably close to a month, and somebody brought to my attention that I should let you guys know. When you do drive, like on the expressway, or if you're cruising somewhere, it does have this super annoying howl sound. I got used to it, it doesn't bother me much, but for the normal person, it's probably gonna be super annoying. So just keep that in consideration. When I gave you guys the video of me installing that and I gave you a drive, you can't really tell in the video that it's howling or droning or whatever you wanna call it, but it is noticeable, so just keep that in mind when you do it. Other than that, I'm gonna go give this thing a drive, make sure everything's working right, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.